I'm Michele Knoll, and I'm a state House candidate in the 44th Legislative District in southwestern Pennsylvania. If you've ever flown in to the Pittsburgh International Airport, you've been in the district. It includes the airport, Robert Morris University, and Swickley Valley Heritage Hospital. There are 14 municipalities and 4 school districts in the district. There are 500 more registered Democrats, 7,000 independents, and 9,000 union members. Since we have been dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's clear that we are improperly prepared to meet this crisis. We've been cutting programs and underfunding agencies, and we've been disregarding science. It highlights our societal problems with health care tied to jobs, problems with poverty and food insecurity. Many people were in the food bank lines the first week. They are not living paycheck to paycheck. They are living hand to mouth. Our minimum wage in the state of Pennsylvania is $7.25 an hour, hardly enough to buy a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread. Recently, when I was at protests within my district for Black Lives Matter, I remembered a story from my work as an early interventionist. I was in a home. I'm a mother with 4 young children who lived in a project. And one day she said to me, "I just want my children to live." And it never even occurred to me that my children would die of violence because of the color of their skin. I have to take my white privilege and listen and learn. And I know that education can help with this. I know that if we bring critical thinking skills back into the high schools with civics education and problems of democracy, we can discuss options and fix some of these problems. Education is the start of a better future for my grandkids and the solution to so many problems facing the families in the 44th District. One of the problems with education in the state of Pennsylvania is that it's funded entirely by property tax. This puts a huge burden on seniors. As they accrue equity in their homes, they have a higher property tax. If we were able to have a severance fee on the oil and gas industry, close the Delaware loophole, and hold charter schools and cyber schools to the same standards, we will be able to help create equal education in the state of Pennsylvania. We can also use a severance fee to help fund our crumbling infrastructure. My district is bisected by the Ohio River. 2 bridges cross that river and are maintained by PennDOT. There are landslides in the district, and the PennDOT budget does not include taking care of landslides, which is exacerbated by climate change. I am well versed in the environment, and I know that we have been underfunding our Department of Environmental Protection for the same 10 years that we have been fracking. As a matter of fact, we have been cutting the DEP by 30% and not replacing open jobs. We have many non-union workers in our oil and gas fields. I understand regulatory and remedial issues and will work on them when I go to Harrisburg. The state of Pennsylvania needs to have common sense gun control legislation with background checks, extreme protection orders, and safe storage requirements, which will help reduce the number of suicides, the largest number when we talk about gun violence deaths. I'm an educator, and I received my BS from the University of Pittsburgh in elementary education, and then later my MED in early intervention. I work as a developmental therapist, and I see, because I go into their homes for the therapy, the struggles that families in my district have. I know that they struggle with the cost of childcare. I know that they have food insecurity and worry about homelessness sometimes dealing with addiction issues. We need educators in Harrisburg to really work on these hard problems in educational funding. Education is my motivation, but now the pandemic, gun control, the environment, property taxes, and Black Lives Matter drive me to want to go to Harrisburg as a state representative. Join me at knollforpa44.com.